Welcome back to another video by Driver's Therapy. Today we're going to be talking about Japanese performance parts. I'm really excited. Now before we get started, I want to make three quick comments. The first one is we're going to be excluding Japanese aftermarket wheels. And the reason why is that there's a lot of them, there's a lot of information, and I think it merits its own video. The second thing is that I'm actually looking at this video as a collaboration between me and you guys. You guys and gals out there have so much knowledge, and I really look forward to hearing about what you have to say about the parts or your experiences, or just to add on maybe something I didn't say. And so I look forward to reading those comments, and your fellow YouTubers also look forward to reading them as well and learning from them. And the third thing is that this video is gonna be long, and there's gonna be a lot of information. And if it's not your type of video, I understand. Just know that we're coming out with a lot of cool content, so stay tuned. And I look forward to hearing from you guys, and let's go ahead and get started. Our first Japanese domestic market parts manufacturer is going to be HKS. In October 1973, two talented and spirited young engineers had a vision to design and build high-performance engines and components that major OE manufacturers could not or would not produce. Led by Hiroyuki Hasegawa. Now, quick note, guys. I apologize for mispronouncing certain names. I apologize to the people. I'm going to try my best, but I just wanted to let you guys know that. Led by Hiroyuki Hasegawa, a former engineer for Yamaha Motor Company, and his partner, Mr. Kitagawa, the two secured a capital infusion from Sigma Automotive Company, hence the name HKS, and began tuning gasoline-powered engines in a dairy farming shed at the foot of Mount Fuji in Japan. A year later, Mr. Hasegawa designed and built the first aftermarket turbocharger for passenger cars and never looked back. That turbocharger was initially designed for the Datsun 240Z. HKS is known for their HKS exhaust, HKS turbo kits, HKS blow-off valves, turbo timers, but they also had other products. They are old school and still people buy their newly engineered products. HKS to me is a popular brand name. I learned about it when I started becoming a car enthusiast. I saw them in friends' cars. I heard about them, read about them on Super Street Import Tuner. So it's pretty cool. It's been a brand that's been out there for a long time, and they're still developing new things, which I think is pretty cool. I know that the HKS titanium exhaust is pretty popular in the Supra community, and yeah, great brand overall. All right, our next company, Gret II. In 1976, a racing enthusiast in Japan's grassroots racing community was building his own exhaust. That exhaust performed so well that eventually other racers started taking notice and wanted one for themselves. Within a year, the Trust Company of Japan was born. Fast forward in 1992, and the Trust Company's race team gained sponsorship, and it was only a matter of time before the Trust Company would expand to the U.S. aftermarket parts world. Sure enough, 2 years later, in 1994, Gret II was born. Now, guys, Gret II to me is as old school as HKS. I remember people showing off their Gret II intercoolers and their turbo kits. I feel that HKS, Gret II, and Apexi for a long time were direct competitors. They all made exhaust, turbo timer gauges, air intakes, turbo kits, intercoolers, and so much more. Today, they continue to produce parts, but with a lot more competition from other great aftermarket manufacturers around the world. Our next company is Apexi. Founded in Japan in 1992, Apexi was always known for moving air through engines expeditiously. They were some of the first to offer complete bolt-on exhaust kits here in the US. They also featured turbos, intercoolers, intakes, and exhaust systems, to name a few products. Now, guys, I used to rock a thin Apexi turbo timer. It was cool. I liked it. It was small. But one of the most popular items for me was the Apexi AFC controller. Now, this air fuel management piggyback computer/controller was pretty neat. At the time, I had a Honda Civic, an EG hatch, and I put a small turbo on it and some DSM 550cc injectors. Now, an AFC controller, what it does is it modifies the airflow meter / pressure sensor signal going to the factory ECU. So you're essentially telling it, giving it the parameters that you want to adjust for the new modifications you've done to the car. This was pretty cool because at those times, standalone ECUs were very expensive. We didn't have any flash tunes. We quite didn't have the technology that we had now. And you could pick up an Apexy AFC controller for a few $100, sometimes less used, and you could wire it in, piggyback to the ECU, and you had a solution for fuel management. Not the best, but it was a solution and it worked. Our next company is Blitz. Blitz started to produce performance parts in 1981. In my opinion, their name is synonymous to HKS, Gret II, and Apexy. Blitz produced turbochargers, exhausts, electronics, intercoolers, and so much more. In the past, I had a Blitz Neural R exhaust on my R33 Skyline. I loved it, it sounded good, and it looked good. I also had a Blitz blow-off valve. The neat thing is that HKS, Gret II, and Apexy had a version of their own blow-off valves. And I remember the Blitz blow-off valve being quite distinct and sounding pretty neat. The next company we're going to be talking about is Cusco. Cusco is a Japanese automotive company that was started in December of 1977. It's a company specializing in suspension and coilover kits. Its company name is actually Carrosso Co. Limited, and that's spelled Carrosser, with Cusco being one of its 4 brands. Now, for me, guys, Cusco was all about the strut towers. I remember them being very popular. I had some, my friend had some, and they made them for all types of cars and models. And I know that they offer other products like sway bars, top hats, and coilovers, but I remember the sway bars being a thing to have. Okay, so our next company is going to be Buddy Club. So in 1990, Kakamoto-san starts his racing destiny by entering in the Suzuka Silver Cup race, running his EG Civic to victory in the One Make Racing Series. His quest for victory guides the development of the Buddy Club Miracle aluminum damper and the Buddy Club front lip spoiler. And then after that, it's all history. Now, in the Honda family, Buddy Club is very popular. They're known to have quality parts. They're cool. If you go to car meets, people are always excited to say this is a Buddy Club part, and it's really popular. So you can't go wrong if you have a Honda and you have a Buddy Club part. Our next company is Tanabe. With over 20 years of experience in the development of quality automotive parts for the performance application, Tanabe's products are engineered to the strictest of tolerance and produced with the highest quality materials, race tested and engineered to perfection. Now, I love Tanabe. I'm a huge fan. I've owned a couple of their products, specifically some exhaust systems, and when they arrive, the way that they're packaged, the welds, and the hardware, really great company. I look forward to buying an exhaust system for the Supra. And another thing I like about them is that they offer aftermarket exhaust systems that are quieter, not essentially quieter than the OEM, but quieter than a really loud exhaust system. So that's a pretty neat option. Okay, so moving on to our next company, we have Tomi. Tomi Powered, also known as Tomi Motor Incorporated, was founded as a company which specialized in professional racing by Suzuki Suzuki, who was also known as a driver for Nissan Motorworks in 1968. From that time, Suzuki Suzuki was also an excellent tuner who helped achieve winning results in numerous races and made many legends. Now, I've never owned any Tomi parts, but every time I went to the drag strip or I went to a car show and I saw those high-powered Evos or high-powered Supras, and I always saw that they had a Tomi, or they talked about that they had Tomi camshaft or Tomi parts. So I know that it's always been associated with high-power cars, and people trust the brand to make power. So apparently that's pretty cool. And if you know anything about that, guys, leave it in a comment. Okay, moving to our next Japanese company, and that's going to be Bride. Bride is a top brand in sports seats. Originated in motorsports, Bride started to manufacture sports seats in 1981. They strive to make ideal seats that fit the body and enable proper driving position. Oh, Bride seats, the seat that got away. Now, Bride seats are so cool. I always wanted a set. I love them. I love the red ones. You go to a car show, you go to me, or you probably know someone out there, or yourself, you own Bride seats. I love them. So that was part 1 of Japanese performance parts. And if you want to supercharge your way to the next video, part 2, the best way to do it is by punching that subscribe button. All right, guys, we'll see you for part 2. You stay safe out there. We'll talk soon.